Good morning. Welcome back or welcome to Yoga with Ciara. So this is day 7 of self-love, the last day of self-love. And so the 1st of March, we will be doing promises. And yeah, promises, I'm quietly, deeply thinking about or feeling into the things that I hold integrity with and the things that I let slide. And so I'm really examining my inner sense of dialogue and the commitments I make, and then the things that I don't do, even though I say I will. It's like, yeah, yeah. God, it's sometimes grim. It's really hard sometimes being, self-examining and going, wow, there's such a gap in what we can do here. But because we're practicing self-love, there's that sense of, well, this is where I am, this is how I am. And only by being present to how exactly I am, do things not even change, but how do I soften with how I am? And so for you, how has it been? How's it been here in self-love? How's it been for you to examine this topic? How's it been that it's only been 7 days? I feel like we're just catching the wave of self-love and now we're coming to an end. But that's the way it is. So today is Sunday, so we're going to do a Sunday yum. We're going to roll around on the floor, connect deeply to our bodies, and then we're going to end this journey, and then we begin again next Saturday, the 1st of March. Um, yeah. It's been a really interesting journey, self-love for me. Even the interruption, all that brought with the interruption, the how much effort do I put into things? Like Sinead and I were talking about, I was saying, I should record and then drive down to the hotel and stream from the hotel, from the car park, or go upstairs in the lobby. And Sinead's like, is that self-love? And then I was like, a neighbor said I could record from her class. And she said, is that self-love? And so it's that thing of, it's not necessarily, following through or not following through. What is actual self-love? Doing or not doing, what is self-love? Being present to all that is. So let's lie down on the floor and let's move. Come. So knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, and just find your body on the floor. Have a bit of a wiggle. Sense of that connection, back of your head, your shoulders, the blades of your shoulder blades, the bony outcrops of your elbows, the back of your spine, the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, soles of your feet. For me, there's a different weight between the two soles of my feet. There's a different type of contact. There's a tilt in the weight of my pelvis, and one shoulder is bigger than the other, and one elbow has more weight into the floor than the other. So there's always very natural, very organic differences between one side and the other. And it's not about changing those things, it's about being present. So as you feel into the weight of your two shoulders, what's the difference in size and weight, in pressure, in ability to sink into the floor between left shoulder and right shoulder? When you feel into the back of your rib cage, left and right, what's the difference? Well, sensation, size, texture, sinkability, density. When you check in with your left and right pelvis, left and right sacrum, left and right buttock, is one side heavier or lighter than the other? Interesting. As I focus on the whole side, I see that there's a pattern that follows through. Before I could see them as parts, but now I see, the whole of that side feels this way, and the whole of that side also feels this way. Interesting. So both feet, left and right, how do they connect to the floor? Weight, volume, connection. And then just see if you can sink a bit deeper. Really land into the floor. Pause deeply. And then from all the sensations that you're feeling, all the different layers, what speaks to you of wellness right now? What speaks to you of wholesomeness, of, whatever it is, wellness, health? Feeling that place, connecting to it, know your wellness, and then bring your arms out to the side and reach out into your fingers. And I'm going to have a bit of a yawn. Nice. And then drop both knees down to the right. Come back up to center. Drop both knees down to the left. Come back up to center. Both knees to the right. Center. And both knees to the left. Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. Nice. Squeeze your right knee up onto your chest. Hug it in. Pause. You settle with the depth or the connection or the steadiness of this moment in your body. Nice. Change. Draw your left knee up onto your chest. Hug it in. Sinking, softening. Super. Both feet to the floor. Draw both knees up onto your chest. Squeeze them both in. And then bring both toes to touch the floor lightly. Draw both knees towards your chest. Squeeze them in. And then touch the floor lightly. And again, toes off the floor, knees squeeze up. Toes touch the floor lightly. Nice. Bring your feet completely to the floor. Walk your feet so they're hip distance or mat distance apart. Drop both knees to the right and turn your head towards the right. And just pause. Using your breath as movement. So we're never totally still. And for me, focusing on the breath on the inside of the stretches that I'm creating creates fluidity and connection in my body. And so as you lie here, how do you send the breath deeply down into your belly to create fluidity and movement? A sense of ebb and flow, a sense of embodied inhabiting of your body. Embodied inhabiting. I'm not sure that's a word or a phrase. Nice. Come back up to center. Head to center, knees to center. Drop your knees to the left. Turn your head to the left. And again, use your breath. How deeply can you breathe? It's not about a deep breath, actually. It's a down breath that I want. So it's not a big breath. It's more a directionality in your breath. How would you send the sense of the movement that's happening down into your legs or down into your pelvis or down into your spine? And it's not even, it's not making it any bigger. It's like, can you notice the movement that is inherently happening when you breathe down in your belly? So per se, it's not actually a breath practice. It's a noticing practice, an awareness practice. Drop your knees down towards the right, turn your head to the right. And using just normal breath, can you feel how the breath is in your belly? I wonder, is that? There is always breath. There is always movement. Life is movement, life in motion in this moment. Back to center, back to center. Drop your knees to the left, turn your head to the left, last of these, and just find the natural movement of your breath down into your belly. There is breath. There is movement. Can you notice it? And back up to center. Nice. So from here, bring your feet back to center. Bring your right foot to rest on top of the left knee. And then very slowly begin to just rock it from side to side. Elbows are braced onto the floor. As you rock from side to side, notice what happens on the outsides of your hips, in the deep of your hips, in your thighs, in your knees. And without breathing deeper, as you breathe, can you feel that you're breathing into the shapes that you're making? How does your breath connect to this movement? It's nothing extra in the breath, it just is. The breath is always moving within you. Our breath is always touching everything that we are. Everything that we write, everything that we do, everything that we see, the rhythm of the breath is living within that. It's really quite amazing. The sense of the undulating movement of you continuously as you travel through your day. Back to center, change legs, bring your left foot up, place it on top of your right knee. So my feet are absolutely, oh my God, they're covered in muck. I was traveling down through the forest yesterday and I had my sandals on. And I was traveling through muck and leaves and everything. And it's still on them. Oh dear. So as you travel, feel just the natural breath in the deep of your belly. Nice. Come back to center. So push your feet are hip distance apart, push your feet down, roll up along your spine. And theme for today, what's the normal natural breath doing in the deep and the midst of this movement? So there is mobility, which is you moving, range of motion, which is you moving, but there is an inherent movement of you as well as you travel. Mobility and motility. So what is the movement of your breath as you move your body up and down along the spine? And you connect to that. Not changing the breath, not altering it in any way. Just seeing, how does it move this? How does it connect to this? Nice. Come back down to center. Bring your right arm long beside your ear. Roll over onto your right side and have your two knees so that they're straight out from your hips. Left hand is on the floor in front of you. You're lying on your right arm. Draw your left knee up towards you and then bring your left foot back behind you. And again, as you move, how does the breath meet the deep of this? Are you naturally syncing the movement and your breath together? There's no one way that you should move, that this is the way that you should move if you're moving that way, or this is the way you should move if you're moving this way, whatever. It's like, what is the unfolding natural occurrence of your breath in the deep of this? In the midst of this, what happens naturally in your body? Draw your left knee up and forward. Draw your right leg back. Left knee back. Nice. One more time. Stretch your left leg long so that it rests on the floor, and try and reach it as far as you can away from you. And then bend your left knee and draw your left knee up to your elbow. Stretch your left leg long, reach as far sided along the floor, and I feel my right rib cage lifting off the floor as a result. And then draw your knee up, tap onto your elbow. One more time. Stretch long, super long. And then bend your knee, come all the way up, and then come to the other side. So both arms are beside you. Reach your left arm long beside your ear. Roll over onto your left arm. Knees are straight out from your hip. Right hand is on the floor. Draw your right knee up. And your right foot back. And what inherently naturally is happening with the breath as you move. And not necessarily, oh, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in. It's like, can you feel the sensation of breath movement in your body, in the place that's moving? Yeah, so it's really interesting. When I only focus on I am breathing in, I am breathing out, I begin to sync naturally with the movement. But if I feel into the sensation of breath and track it as a kind of a longitudinal length of movement in the deep of my belly, I can let the two movements be independent from each other. There is breath, there is movement, and I am observing the presence of movement between the two, or the interaction of movement between the two, which is very interesting. So interesting how the patterns can synchronize, or the patterns can be independent from each other. Nice. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. And just pause. So I always feel, it's like deep belly here now. So as soon as we come into soles of your feet together, knees apart, I feel like Jacques Cousteau and deep sea diving. What was the name of his? The Zodiac. Was it the Zodiac? I think it was the Zodiac. He had an underwater, not a trampoline, a submarine, underwater submarine, kind of a pod that he would go deep diving with into the deep ocean. So now as you lie here, I'm going to walk my shoulders away from my hips so that my spine is just lying flat on the floor, no effort. Hands are resting on my chest. And just how do I find the whole of my belly as I breathe? Amazing. Always at this time, 20 past 7, I can hear it's like all the bird song turns on outside. Ding dong, all the birds are on. And there's a certain amount of light. It's still in twilight, or it's nautical twilight at the moment. And so just feel into the deep of your belly as you breathe, as you connect. Nice. Draw your knees towards each other. Squeeze both knees up towards you. And tracking your breath, rock your knees from side to side. Roll like there's a clock on the back of your pelvis. Tracking your breath, feeling your breath. Or is it connected to your body movement? Or is there two different rhythms happening? One is the breath and the other one is movement. Nice. Bring your feet to the floor. Pause. So as you feel into your sensations in this moment, from the top of your head to where the back of your head rests on the floor, your shoulder blades, the bony of your elbows, your shoulder blades, the back of your rib cage, the pelvis, the soles of your feet. Can you be with all of this in a really wholesome, self-loving, accepting way? How wonderful. So yes, so my sense is that I'm a work in progress. Yeah, and I think there's no full stop, no like, oh, now it is and that is it. I think we're all in the process of self-creation, self-discovery, self-loving, an evolving, incredible, vibrant pond of water that is moving with life and vibrancy and something, the essence of you in the midst of it. And so, yeah, it's a work in progress. And I promise I will be here to the best of my ability for 21 days in March. And yeah, thank you. Really, thank you so much for being here. It's this plan really worked. This 7 days and then 5 days off really works. And yeah, thanks for being here. Really, like it's just what a beautiful thing to do. A beautiful way to share our life together. Nice. Ciao, ciao. Slán, slán. See you on the 1st.